The first problem I ran into after leaving the vault was that I simply didn't have enough ammo to shoot all of the enemies I was running into. To combat this, you'll want to get yourself a melee weapon as quickly as possible. The first one you'll likely run across is a machete, which you can find on a corpse down the left stairway from Vault 76. I upgraded this to serrating early on, and the weapon served me through the full 9-hour play session. After you've been playing for a while, you'll be able to either find or craft a decent amount of ammo, but it's always worth having a melee weapon as a backup, just in case. In previous Fallout games, making an attack in VATS would cost you action points. In 76, things are a little bit different. You'll still eat up your action points when attacking in VATS, but you'll also eat through those points when you hit the VATS button, and they'll drain away whilst VATS is active. Whilst looking through my footage, it appears that the draining points for hitting the VATS button only takes place when there's no available targets. This means you can't do the old technique of constantly spamming the VATS button to gain complete situational awareness at all times. Action point management is going to be more tricky in this game than back in Fallout 4, as you'll constantly be spending AP whenever you sprint, jump, or try and use VATS. There are a ton of Scorched kicking around the initial game area. The majority of times when you kill one of them, they'll have a weapon on their body. Carrying around a dozen pipe pistols is both unnecessary and will eat through your limited carry capacity. Instead of lugging them around all over the place, you should scrap excess guns whenever you can. Scrapping weapons earns you valuable junk, but, more importantly, gives you a chance to learn different craftable mods for that weapon type. I found plenty of basic hunting rifles early on whilst playing, and I made sure to scrap every single one of them. This meant that, once I found myself a half-decent hunting rifle I wanted to use, I was able to modify that rifle and make myself a badass sniper, while still in the early game. Killing enemies, crafting, and exploring new locations will yield you a small amount of XP and some useful loot. If you really want to get the good stuff though, you need to be completing quests and events. Quests are what you can expect from previous games, whilst events are location-based missions that you'll be informed of when they're nearby to you. Once you complete these, you get a decent chunk of XP as well as various loot. If you're looking to be able to reach higher levels as early as possible, you'll want to power through as many quests and events as you can. Even though Fallout 76 is a multiplayer game, this doesn't mean you have to always be playing with a group. In my play session, I spent the overwhelming majority of my time playing solo, and managed to come out successful in every fight I went into. If you are playing solo, I recommend you make sure you have at least 2 points of charisma and equip the Lone Wanderer perk, in order to reduce the amount of damage you take and boost your AP regen. Even when you are playing solo, this isn't the same as playing a single player game. You'll occasionally bump into other players, and you can help each other out without being a part of a team. This happened to me with a couple of different events. We were both playing solo, but covered each other during the event to make things easier on us. Later on, I then teamed up with a player. This was easy to do. I just approached the person, invited them to my team, and that was it. We didn't talk over voice chat, but I did switch around my perks for something that helped me whilst in a team. Later on, I did some proper teaming up with Genesis, and we found a random player around us during an event. Adding them to the team was simple, and we were all able to talk through the in-game voice chat system. If you are going to play as a team, I recommend sharing perks that benefit everyone. For every 3 points of charisma you have, you can share a 1 point perk cost card with your teammates. This adds to the total perks everyone can have, so I highly recommend the charisma stat if you want to group up with other players. As a final note, let's talk about throwing knives. They're broken. Seriously, you can make them early on at a weapons bench, and they'll one-shot the starting enemies and deal serious damage to anything else you run across. These are better than any gun you'll have early on, and I can't advise you enough to bring plenty of these with you at all times. Those are my 6 things I think you need to know before you play the game. If you have anything to add, leave it in the comments below, like the video if you found it helpful, and subscribe for more Fallout 76 content. As always, thanks for watching. Sarge out.